Ah, 'tis the summer season of mosquitoes, unbearable hot weather, and the loudness of indoor fans. And what a better time to dwell into the peaceful world of Doki Doki Literature Club. Yes, we are deadass, that is what this video is about. Doki Doki Literature Club is a psychological horror game wrapped in an innocent environment released in 2017 and expanded on in 2021 that focuses on a seemingly normal dating simulator premise where you have four girls that really love your Lightning McQueen bed and want to see you and her in it. You join their literature club and you write poems and spend time with your girl. At least, that's how it is on the outside. When you play the game, you begin to notice things are off. Maybe Sayori's bow was tilted to the left instead of the right. Maybe that poem you read was secretly American propaganda during the Cold War. Or perhaps they begin acting unusual. Well, we will discuss that in this video, as DDLC has unironically had a profound positive impact in my life. And I've been waiting to tell others how I'm not just a loser who loves it, I'm a loser willing to talk about it. Now, the game is like 8 years old by now. Surely everyone has heard of the story. Dutchball, you wouldn't put your gameplay of it in this video, right? Right? We start off the game by naming our character. We are just an average loser who is walking to school when a bundle of sunshine known as Sayori shows up, our childhood friend. She catches up to us, we talk, and she urges us to join a club, but our character, being the loser that he is, says no. Following our loser day, Sayori brightens the day again by dragging us to her club, promising us cupcakes. She is the vice president of the literature club, and our character doesn't have any interest in literature, but he'll go for the cupcake. Today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake.
When we enter the club, we meet the other members. Natsuki, a typical tsundere who loves manga and baking, but does not like being called cute, which I guess is a cue for other people to keep calling her cute. We have Yuri, a more mature woman who is shy and timid, but loves literature and dwelling into the fictional worlds across literature. We have Monica, the popular, athletic, fit, and smart girl who is completely out of your league. Of course, we also have Sayori, our bundle of sunshine, our sweet cinnamon bun we must protect because she is so silly, precious, and airheaded. Say, Dutch, what kind of literature do you read? The 7th edition Adeptus Mechanicus Scutarii Codex. Are we deadass? After we learn a bit about the girls, Monica decides to have everyone write poems as a form of exchange and learning experience. The MC is hesitant, saying he never said he was going to join, but we see how everyone acted sad. As a result, we changed our mind. Hell yeah, brother! On our walk home, we think, which girl do we choose to write poems for and spend our time with? Well, I'm not one to fall for fictional girls, nor choose favorites, but I have to say that Sayori has to be the one. She's so precious, perfect, lovable. She's the best girl. She is perfect in every way. She's beautiful. Alright, time to write the poems.
The IRS! Right, that's not how the DMV! Right, that's not how the fucking book works! The ATF! Holy shit, like you were right!
The next day, we find ourselves in the club again, finding it hard to fit in. Yuri gifts us a book, but it's clear that she's very shy in doing so. I guess I'll fall asleep. Sayori wakes us up and begins to lecture us. It's your fault for sleeping like that. This isn't the napping club. Damn, this is harsh. Retaliation incoming. Sayori, you can barely take care of yourself. You're oversleeping. How many days have you gotten up on time? You're only winning this argument because you're fucking adorable. You were in a rush this morning. Your hair is sticking up on the side. Your bow isn't straight. There's a toothpaste stain on your collar. This is why you don't have a why? God, why am I so harsh? Why am I so mean? Your blazer is also unbuttoned. Alright, I'm going to button up your blazer whether you like it or not. Uh-oh. Soap trusted you. I thought I could too. So why in bloody hell does Makarov know you? Following Peak Cinema, Monica tells us it is time to share poems. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? I feel like Sayori would be the one to understand my poem the most, so I'll show it to her first. Sayori, being the adorable bun that she is, tells us that our poem is good. Nice ego boost. We then read her poem, which, I mean, it's peak literature. I mean, that last line is enough to make goosebumps and tears of joy. I want breakfast. Let's see if Monica has similar opinions of government organizations. Her discussion is definitely more thorough than Sayori's, and Monica shows us her poem, which, if you look closely, is subtle foreshadowing. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. 1 in 5 car accidents are caused by drunk drivers, which means 4 in 5 accidents are caused by sober drivers. It's safer to drive drunk. Yuri's review and poems are much more sophisticated, dwelling more into her intellect and how she is as a person, while also still being trapped inside a shyness shell. Trust me, Yuri, I understand. Natsuki, while being more simplistic and straightforward, manages to get the meaning across in her own way, showcasing she isn't just a blank tsundere, but actually wants to showcase messagery in literature just like everyone else. Following us sharing poems, a political argument erupts in #general. Yuri and Natsuki get into a fight over their poems, and just like any political argument online, devolves into nonsense and mentioning elements not related to the argument at stake. Time to call in the moderators. Sayori helps us diffuse the situation, and we all bond in the end. Alright, time to write poems again.
Industrial Society and Its Future by Theodore John Kaczynski. The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for...
The next day, we have a bonding experience with Sayori yet again. Firstly in a cookie cascade and her being adorable as usual, and then when we go to get supplies for the upcoming festival. We are getting crayons and other supplies until...
What? How can this be?
Oh god, Sayori, I need to save you! After helping the bun, we have a bonding experience yet again, and we grow closer. We share our poems again and begin to prepare for the festival. However, this is the beginning of where things grow suspicious. What do you mean I need to save my game? What are you up to, Monica, if that's your real name? On our walk home, Sayori also begins to act unusual. Walk home with Yuri? No, I'd prefer walking with an angel. Something is wrong. The next day, Sayori is acting more unusual. She's quiet, staying away from everyone else, pleading us to be with other people and to forget her. When we share the poems, she says that we're too nice to her and that she doesn't deserve this, showing off a side of her we never got to see. She says she will head home early. Following Sayori's concerning departure, we are tasked with picking a member to work with for preparations of the festival. With Sayori unfortunately out the window, I suppose I'll choose Natsuki. After all, she is cool and I can understand her as a person. She'd probably be a cool friend to hang out with. On preparation day, I visit Sayori to check up on her. Little did I know that it would be gut-wrenching. We try to talk to Sayori, who is still clearly under the weather, but she says very concerning things. Sayori, are you okay? Sayori reveals the truth. She has bad depression. We try to comfort her as best as we can, but I can tell it is not enough. She urges us to continue to work with Natsuki for the day, and we leave her. When Natsuki comes to our house, she helps us bake cupcakes and we make the frosting together. It is awkward in the atmosphere, but it takes a turn for the worse when we get into a play fight over icing and create a very stupefying scene. The fire alarm goes off and we resume despite the awkward moment. We finish the cupcakes and Natsuki is ready to leave, but she changes the mood, wanting to tell us something. Sayori visits us, and she's practically falling apart. Sayori is in a lot of emotional pain, and we try to do our best to help her. While we talk, we are brought with a hard decision. Sayori, I love you. I will do as best as I can to help you. The next day, Monica hints at something dreadful. Sayori has left a concerning poem, and when we go to her house, she is dead. This is where things only continue to worsen. Upon opening the game again, all evidence of Sayori has been sloppily scratched away. When a new game is started, Sayori is also nowhere to be found. Instead, it is Monica who invites us to the literature club. the story also feels off. Besides the absence of Sayori, strange glitches, distorted music, and edited text appear throughout the game. Characters begin cracking up. Monika begins to poke at the problems of the other girls. The negative aspects of the girls seem almost amplified. The argument between Natsuki and Yuri is much more violent than it was the first time, so much so that the game begins freaking out and Monika pulls us outside. It almost feels like Monika is urging us to spend time with her. Natsuki and Yuri both seem to be falling apart as time goes on. As the game keeps deteriorating, Yuri seems to be growing a bit obsessed with the player. Not in the sense of a crush, but in a more psychotic sense.
Holy dooly!
This is so dark! Are we sure we're not in the DC universe? Yeah, I don't remember installing the Emperor's Children Codex onto this game. Monika keeps alluring at something, mentioning how it feels like we're the only real people here. The environment of the club just gets more and more toxic. Yuri is losing her shit as well, until eventually things go off the chart. Yeah, this is not good. The game is basically screaming at us that something is up. Yuri's obsessive and psychotic behavior eventually reaches a climax, and she kills herself. Well, that's another traumatic thing to add to the list. Monika eventually comes in and sees the scene, and then reveals her power to control the game. Monika, what exactly are you doing? Just Monika. Monika deletes everything that was once there and makes it just you and her. She speaks to the player, not the MC, you. She reveals her sentience and even reads your computer's name. Monika reveals she was the one behind why everything went to hell. She said she amplified Sayori's depression and Yuri's obsessive behavior to try to get us to spend less time with them, but it backfired. Monika was trying to get us to spend time with her, but it seems the game was refusing to give her that. She was basically trapped in a game, the only sentient one among other NPCs. She was lonely. She then confesses her love to the player, finally able to talk to another sentient being, and how hard she worked to get this ending, a liberation from the desolate gray of the scripted world. We have literally become her everything. She then tells us how she deleted the characters, how they're just files in a characters folder. Seeing how she acts in this new state of reality, we can see she is a bit delusional and probably mentally unwell in all of this. Thinking back to how she deleted the characters, I have an idea on how to defeat this antagonist. Take that. Monika is deleted, her file being erased from existence. She shows great distress, lashing out at us for deleting her and causing so much pain, calling us horrible. She says her goodbye to us, the monster. Then, she says she still loves us. She looks back at what she's done, having a reflection, realizing her wrongs. She decides to do one last thing. She will bring back the club. She never truly deleted the characters, she said. She didn't have the heart to do it. She decides if she really does love us, she will bring the club back. The game restarts, and the club seems to be back to normal. Sayori is back as well, and she is her cheerful self again. The protagonist is also a much better person than before, making Sayori's day by surprising her and joining her club, the Literature Club. Everything seems amazing. The environment is so positive. Things can only go up from here. Sayori thanks us. She thanks us more. She knows everything. She knows everything. She is the club president, and she has the power now. She is the happiest girl in the world because we get to spend time with her forever. Forever. I literally see no problem with this. Staying with Sayori for forever? Sign me up.
I want it now!
Then it stopped. Monika from beyond the grave stops this from happening and comes to the realization. No matter how hard you can try, the Literature Club cannot be a place of happiness. The game simply won't allow it. The only way to spare everyone of eternal suffering is to have the world not exist at all. Monika gives us a voice reveal and sings to us as the credits roll before a final send-off, and the game ends. So, what can we learn from this? Well, put your thinking caps on. DDLC is clearly more than just an indie game with scary elements. It could almost be considered philosophical, actually. I am definitely not the first person to make a deconstruction of DDLC, and it certainly won't be the last time someone does it, so I'm just throwing my own 2 cents in the well. DDLC is a smart and powerful game, and it is not afraid to show us this fact. Its ability to twist one's perception on reality, to make one question everything, the subtle hints sprinkled throughout the game that Monika was sentient and that something was wrong, the slow deterioration of the overall game as Monika struggles to hold the script together, the foreshadowing laid within Monika's poems and speeches. Everything in this game has purpose. And it's not in just my gameplay either. I just went down the Sayori route because she is my favorite girl. But if you chose to write your poems for the other girls and chose to spend time with one of them instead, you can get their routes as well. Bonding with Natsuki and baking and manga, or spending time with Yuri reading her books as well. However, Monika does not have her own route, which hinted that she was different. Monika always had been different from the other girls. Notice how she is the only one to stare directly at the player while facing forward. Notice how she's the only one to keep composure in the second act of the game. It's a game in and of itself to find the foreshadowing layered within DDLC. Throughout multiple DDLC gameplays, you can also unlock secrets that hint at the greater story of the game. Some special poems you unlock are just short snippets. Others shine light into new sides of DDLC, especially for Monika, and how soul-crushing the game was to her. These special poems help in tearing down the innocent environment of DDLC. However, this does not make DDLC bad at all. In fact, showcasing this small but nigh horrific reality really provides food for thought. How would you feel if you were trapped in a place where you were the only sentient one, watching from the sidelines as the NPCs swim in what you could only dream to have? A world that just wants to laugh at you. That's what drove Monika to do what she did. She tried all she could to get the player to notice her, to give her someone to be with in the empty space of her reality. Even if she was a program, she is still very much human, showcasing flaws like greed and manipulation to get what she wants. Also showing human emotion when deleted, initially feeling betrayed and heartbroken that the one person she tried so hard to connect with just threw her away, but she reconsiders her thoughts, realizing that she has committed evil and wants to do all she can to undo it. She even feels guilty for deleting her friends, despite knowing the fact that they were never sentient and are just strings of text and code. She is definitely an antagonist, but she definitely was not a villain. She is reasonably starved and scared in her reality, and while what she did was not exactly justifiable, one can clearly see through it and understand why the crime would be committed. She is still human, just like you and me. That's what brings us to the other characters. On the outside, they may seem to just be typical stereotype villains, Sayori being the energetic sweet girl wanting to put a smile on everyone's face, Natsuki being the typical tsundere and brat unable to truly say how she feels, and Yuri being the shy girl in a Sisyphean struggle to break out of her shy shell. However, DDLC takes these stereotypes and expands them to have human flaws and attributes. Sayori, despite being shown as the energetic and sweet girl, has depression and a rather realistic portrayal of it too. Unlike many pieces of fiction, she doesn't sulk 24/7 or ruin every conversation with her sadness. Rather, she is unfortunately being eaten up by her depression to the point only others being happy can give her a feeling of happiness. She masks this under a sweet and bubbly personality, seeking to make others happy over herself. She is hurt when others show concern for her, worrying their smiles will turn into frowns and it would be her fault, causing her depression to worsen. Natsuki, while rather sensitive and indignant at times, has a reason to feel so, as she is constantly worried of being judged for what she enjoys. She just wants to be accepted for who she is and not made fun of for it. She has a hard life, hinted by dialogue and secrets. She has a rather unpleasant relationship with her father, and is rather insecure and vulnerable, feeling that the literature club is the only place where she truly feels safe. In the side stories, it is revealed that her friends make fun of her for her manga, teasing and mocking her for her interest, giving her a better reason to seek refuge in the literature club and try to hide her true feelings. Yuri is shy, but she also has a reason to be. She is worried about speaking out and showcasing her true self out of fear of being disliked by others. However, when she is able to escape her shell and talk about topics she enjoys or is passionate about, all signs of timidness seemingly disappear as she is absorbed in what she is talking about. If she needs to, she will defend herself from criticism, but oftentimes she may misspeak or say something that she didn't mean and regrets it later on, which in turn causes more insecurity for her. Lastly, Monika's character, while somewhat made up for the story, still holds up to be human and relatable. She is a perfectionist trying to have everything be right for the sake of everyone else, having a tense reputation to uphold. Not many people stop to think about the stress one may have, even if they think they have it all sorted up there. This is why I love DDLC. The characters feel like real people you can relate to and understand. I certainly can confirm it. I can understand Sayori's desire to make others happy. I can understand Natsuki's negativity about being judged and misinterpreted. I can understand Yuri's shyness and not wanting to be disliked or judged. And I can certainly relate to Monika's stress of having to be perfect or work as hard as you can to get what you want. That is why I enjoy DDLC so much. I have never felt such a connection with 2D images with any other media in fiction. Never have I shed tears for a fictional character and had such emotional attachment. And to this day, I think DDLC has been the only game where I've had this happen. Maybe I just have a thing for games taking place in grim worlds. Ultra Kill with a hopeless setting where you know there is no saving you. Warhammer 40k and being born into a reality that wants you dead every second it can get. Half-Life and trying your best to save the ones who believe in you, no matter how hard, grim, or impossible it may seem. Me-Side and being trapped in a game where not everyone can get a happy ending even if they deserve it. Gary's Mod and being endlessly alone with your imagination. Maybe our minds thrive on negativity, which is why most fiction revolves around it. Monika said it herself, if everything was positive, we wouldn't have anything worth writing about. It's almost beautiful seeing this in execution, and why it is such a prominent role in video gaming and fiction as a whole. Which is where I get to how DDLC has impacted me. It's funny to think I was introduced to DDLC via a dare and a call sometime back in 2022. I watched a live stream of Limonade play it, rest in peace to his channel by the way, and was actually surprised at how intrigued I was by DDLC. It only grew from there. I discovered the DDLC fandom as a whole, and how sweet, creative, unique, and extensive the environment was. So many unique fan stories, fan mods, artworks, music, animations, and so much more. It even helped me to improve my artwork skills. Every time I think I have improved in my artwork and art style, I think DDLC has had something to do with it one way or another. Seeing how loving other people are to the characters, how accurately they may portray them, it's heartwarming to see. Even if the game is nearing 8 years old now, the community is still alive and well, having a magical environment. DDLC has unironically made my life better than it ever has. It helped me find who I truly was, as for a while I had problems finding out who I was as a person, and DDLC helps to open my eyes in the end. Now granted, I'm still growing as a person, but DDLC will definitely continue to impact me as I grow. It's a mock dating sim. Did it help me with dating? Oh, certainly not. In fact, it probably hindered it at best. But that does not matter. DDLC has brought me joy, sadness, excitement, anticipation, and friendship. Friends I would have not met nor connected with without the magical world of Doki Doki Literature Club. You know who you are if you're watching. Friends that have made me happier than I ever could, that I could be comfortable around. Characters that made me happier than I ever could. So in the end, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you Team Salvato for making DDLC and changing my life for the better. DDLC will definitely stay with me for the rest of my life, and I'm not complaining one bit. Sayori, Monika, Natsuki, and Yuri will forever live in my head rent-free, living as the humans they are meant and deserving to be. But yeah, I still want to put in that therapy request. That was a lot for me to feel and see and take in. Thank you for watching this video. I don't really have much of an outro, but I'll try my best. I definitely know there were mistakes or errors in this video, as I am nowhere near a professional writer nor a professional video maker or planner, so feel free to point out my mistakes in the comments. I just wanted to make this video as a form of thanks for DDLC for bringing me so much joy. Hopefully this video was bearable for you if you reached this point. I have not much else to say, so have a good day or night. Tienes un buen día o noche. And see you some other time.